Everybody. These liberals are shameless, absolutely shameless, and I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. First, Mackenzie Gray's tweeting, quote, Conservative leader Andrew Scheer, who called on the PM to resign last night, sent a letter to RCMP Commissioner Brenda Lucki today asking her to investigate the SNC-Lavalin affair. Hashtag Canada Poly. And then here's the actual letter. It says, quote, Commissioner, for 3 weeks, Canadians have been gripped by the news surrounding interference by the Prime Minister and his closest political allies in the bribery and fraud trial of SNC-Lavalin. Explosive testimony from former Attorney General Jody Wilson-Raybould confirmed a, quote, consistent and sustained campaign to politically interfere in prosecutorial discretion. She confirmed that there were, quote, veiled threats of consequences if she did not bend to the political wishes of the Liberal Party and the financial interests of the shareholders of SNC-Lavalin. It was also clear that these actions rose to the highest ranks of government. It is contrary to Section 421-1 of the Criminal Code to engage in any conduct with the intent to provoke fear in the Attorney General. It is further contrary to Section 139 of the Criminal Code to attempt to obstruct or defeat the course of justice. According to the facts as have been revealed in media reports, parliamentary testimony from the clerk of the Privy Council, Michael Warnick, and most significantly, the recent comments of the former Attorney General, Canadians are rightly concerned that criminal law has been violated. These are incredibly serious allegations, and I do not write these words lightly, but the matter at hand appears on its face to be a gross violation of the law. I feel that it is my duty to inform you of this matter. I urge you to ensure that you use all resources at your disposal to fully and fairly investigate any potential criminal activity. Thank you in advance for your attention to this important issue. Sincerely, Andrew Scheer. And so this is publicly on Twitter. You can find the link in the description. We are going to look at Andrew Scheer during question period. Trudeau didn't show up. He was at a presser for Space in which he briefly answered some questions. But other than that, he didn't do very much. I'll find Andrew Scheer and we'll listen to his question first, and then we'll listen to Miss Raitt. Okay, so here's Andrew Scheer. He is speaking, he's asking questions in question period. All of the questions are taken from testimony heard yesterday. The Conservatives and everybody who asks questions, including the NDP as well, all are hammering on this. Every single one of them are attacking the Liberals. The Liberals' only response is jobs, jobs, jobs. That is the line that they've decided to go with on this. That is the thing they're going to try and shove down your throat. It is about jobs. So hold up Alberta and say, nuh-uh, doesn't work like that. Sorry, sir. Sorry, Mr. Trudeau. Sorry, Liberals. You can't protect jobs by allowing one giant company to break the law. It doesn't work like that. And you cannot use your political power to influence an attorney general to make an incorrect legal call in order to favor your crony friends. That is against the law. And I've had people say they haven't done anything against the law. Yeah, I think they really have. I really, really think they have. And I think that I think this is a very corrupt government. And can a corrupt government stand in Canada for the next 6 or 7 months? Is that something that's possible? Wild. And if it's possible, who's to say that that corrupt government doesn't continue the corruption in other areas, right? Who's to say that it ends just with their crony friends and sweetheart deals? They were willing to change the laws in order for a bit of money. Do you think they're going to give up the ability to change the laws that easily if they can change the laws now? Unbelievable, right? Here's Mr. Scheer.
This question is for the Prime Minister, and he should have the decency to answer for himself.
Hear, hear.
That's right. He says that there's a difference of opinion. Well, I'll ask him a very specific question. In a meeting with the Clerk of the Privy Council and the Prime Minister, the former Attorney General said that the Clerk indicated that they had to find a solution quickly because, quote, there is a board meeting on Thursday with shareholders. Does the Prime Minister deny that these words were spoken? Yes or no?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we know that the Justice Committee is looking at this file. Once again, they have continued to call witnesses. Members of Parliament from both sides of the aisle are working together to have those witnesses appear. Yesterday, we heard from the former Attorney General. She confirmed that the Prime Minister, at all instances, confirmed that it was her decision to take. We know that committees are doing their work. Mr. Speaker, we also know that the Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commissioner is also looking at this file. We also know that there are 2 ongoing court cases, Mr. Speaker. We on this side respect the work of committees. committees. We respect the work of officers of Parliament. We respect the independence of the judicial system. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order.
And after yesterday's testimony, that is laughable because they clearly do not respect the independence of the judiciary. They fired the judiciary who would not play ball in order to replace her with somebody who would give SNC-Lavalin access to the changes to the criminal code the Liberals made in 2018 for SNC-Lavalin, despite the fact that charges were filed in 2014, right? Pretty incredible. Okay, I'll get the next clip lined up. Hold on. Okay, here's Lisa Raitt talking about another talking point from yesterday's testimony from Jody Wilson-Raybould. And so if you watch Question Period, when the Liberals have tough questions, they have predefined answers already, right? These are the answers they're going to give, and they're just going to keep giving those same answers. They've got a sheet there, and it's basically a guide that says, give this answer if this is asked, give this answer if this is asked. So if they hit anywhere close, they give that answer. They give the jobs answer multiple times. They give the answer talking about how Jody Wilson-Raybould herself said no laws were broken. It was inappropriate, but no laws were broken. So it is interesting to watch the repetition, right? They're hoping that people, and the news doesn't cut it together enough to show you the repetition. And even me, I should probably show you the repetition more, but neither here nor there. But it happens. It happens a lot. And this is no different. But they're hoping this is going to get buried. Jobs, jobs, jobs. Jobs, jobs, jobs.
House Leader.
Yesterday, Mr. Speaker, Canadians were told by the former Attorney General that on September 17th, in relation to the SNC-Lavalin affair, the Prime Minister told her, and I quote, "There is an election in Quebec and I am an MP in Quebec, the member for Papineau." Does the Prime Minister deny saying this?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, what we know is that the Justice Committee is actually doing their work. The Justice Committee is actually having witnesses appear and answering those questions. We also know that the former Attorney General confirmed that the Prime Minister told her it was her decision to make. We also know that the former Attorney General confirmed that it was appropriate to discuss job impacts. We also know that the former Attorney General made the decision not to proceed. We also know that the law was followed at every step. The job of any Prime Minister is to stand up for Canadians and Canadian workers. That's exactly what we do on this side of the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Opposition House Leader.
He doesn't deny it. Clearly, the former Attorney General is telling the truth. I have another question for the Prime Minister. Yesterday, the former Attorney General also testified that Mathieu Bouchard, a senior advisor in the Prime Minister's office, tried to pressure her in regards to the SNC-Lavalin deal by saying, and I quote, "We can have the best policy in the world, but we need to be re-elected," unquote. Again, does the Prime Minister deny that this was said?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
The Prime Minister will always stand up for Canadian workers and the importance of the rule of law, Mr. Speaker. And Prime Ministers should fight for Canadian jobs. Absolutely. We on this side, we respect the work of committees. We have confidence in our institutions, as all Canadians should. What's clear is that the Conservatives will continue their partisan ways. They will put politics ahead of Canadians. We will not do that on this side, Mr. Speaker. We are fighting for Canadians, and we see the results. We know that Canadians are better off today than they were under Stephen Harper's Conservatives. The Conservatives have chosen a new leader, but it remains Stephen Harper's party of austerity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Do these people really believe what they're saying? I'm not 100% sure if they believe it or if they're just agreeing with the talking points because that's what they've been told to do. I'm not 100% sure, honestly. I will get to the next piece I want to show you. This is the piece that is just shameless. All of this is shameless. Trudeau himself didn't show up for Question Period. The answers to these questions are flat, and they have absolutely no basis in reality. Yesterday, big bombs were dropped. It looks like laws were broken, and the Liberal caucus needs to respond. And if they don't respond, the people will respond in October. They really will. However, I'll get to the next cue. But they project. In the next clip, she says, "You guys don't respect the independence of the judiciary like we do." It's incredible. What are you experiencing? Because it's not reality. Hold on. Here it is.
Response to the former Attorney General's testimony, the Prime Minister said he completely disagreed with her when she said that Jerry Bott said there is no solution that does not involve interference. Is the Prime Minister challenging what the former Attorney General said? The Honourable Government House Leader. Mr. Speaker, it's important for Canadians to hear the former Attorney General at the Justice Committee. That's what she did. The members sitting on the committee do their work. They call for witnesses, and witnesses come. We on this side of the House respect the work of the members sitting on the Justice Committee. And we will not interfere like the Conservatives like to do. We know that the committee can do their work, and we trust in the work of the committee. Thank you, Mr.
So we will not interfere like the Conservatives like to do? Madam, your government was the one that was just found interfering in the work of the Attorney General. Huge, months-long coordinated pressure from the PMO and the Privy Council's office. Right up to the Prime Minister. Come on. Really. Beyond the pale. Shameless. Shameless. For shame. That whole shame scene in Game of Thrones, they walk through the streets and shame, shame, shame. All of that. So, we have a Liberal government that has absolutely checked out of reality. We have a Prime Minister who believes he is beyond the law. He doesn't care. He does not care. And we've got an Attorney General who is willing to give more testimony and people who want to hear it. I don't think this story's over. Or, if it is, this is going to hurt. This is going to tank the Liberals even further. If this is what they're going to give, basically confirmation, and yeah, what are you going to do? Take that. Because if nothing happens, that's exactly what they did. Incredible. Canada in 2019. Whew. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.